Hi, everyone, and welcome to the special simulcast, the Neil Haley Show and celebrity interviews live from the grotto without Greg Hanna today. But our guest today is Jim Vines. He's going to fool us in so many ways. Magician extraordinaire. Jim, thanks for stopping by. How did this whole magician thing start? Like, was it something where he said, I'm going to become a magician? Was that something your whole life you wanted to do?
No, it totally hit me out of the blue when I was 12 years old. I was at school one day, and a friend of mine who I thought I knew really well said to me, "Hey, you know what, Jim? I'm a magician." And I'm like, now, how many times in your life do you hear somebody say that, right? So I tried to sort of call his bluff and I asked him to do a trick. He wouldn't show me anything. And I persisted for a few days. He still wouldn't show me anything. But as luck would have it, a few days later, we're in the cafeteria in line, and he says, "Oh, I forgot my milk money. Can I borrow a quarter?" And this was my chance, Neil. I said, "Yeah, I'll loan you a quarter, but show me a magic trick." He takes the quarter, Neil, and he just puts it in his hand and makes it vanish right in front of my face. This kid was in short sleeves. There was nowhere it could have gone. I was completely, I'll never forget the feeling of that. And that was the day. I mean, right then and there, I had to know how this was done. I went to the library, I studied the books because this kid wouldn't tell me. That's the magician's code. You won't tell the secret. But I found the books, I started studying, and it's been a lifelong journey. So it's just something magic bug bites, and sometimes it never lets go.
And that process. So, what age were you again?
12 years old.
12. Okay. So then you started doing magic. Was that your primary goal in life then after that?
It was, from that point until probably when I was about to graduate from college, it was really my main thing. I even studied theater in college and studied acting because I knew that studying acting and dance and things like that and voice would definitely help. But once I moved to New York City, um, I had actually gotten more interested in things like creative writing, and I'd kind of broadened my interest in the arts quite a bit. That's one of the things that studying theater will do because there's just so many disciplines in the arts and in theater. And so I got interested in other things. I became a literary agent for a while. Still never let go of magic, but a few years ago, I would say probably in the around 2006 range. I dove back into magic full time and just haven't looked back, and won the North American Championship of Close Up Magic. Appeared on Penn and Teller Fool Us. Have my own show in Times Square now, so it's been quite a journey.
Oh, wow. Okay. So in that magician thing, so you've been on Penn and Teller. So how did you kind of get out there to get really well known, Jim?
Well, for me, it was an interesting thing. There's these. It sounds implausible or very strange, but there's magic competitions. Okay, which sounds kind of weird because what you think? Well, why would an art form need competitions? But if you think about it, there's the Academy Awards for acting, and there's the Grammys for music, and sort of every sort of discipline has its own sort of way to honor the people who are really trying to achieve in that industry. And it's no different with magic. And so I really jumped in and started creating a bunch of original routines and original effects. And actually, the thing I did on Penn and Teller Fool Us was the thing that I won the North American Championship of Close Up Magic with in 2017. So you kind of work your way up through these different regional competitions and national competitions, and then in 2018, after I won the North American Championship, I represented North America in the World Championship of sleight of hand magic, which was in Busan, South Korea. And in the World Championship, I got seventh place, which honestly was a little bit of a bummer to me. But my wife comes up to me afterwards and she goes, "No, no, no, Jim, that means you're the seventh wonder of the world." So I was like, "Okay, we'll stay married a little bit longer now."
So that's crazy. And then it's wild and crazy in so many points. And then you're just like, okay, I'm there. I got it. I've been able to
Yeah.
accomplish that. So talk about your acts. What types of stuff you do
Well,
in
what I
your magician?
really am loving more than anything these days is the show that my performing partner, Carl Mercurio, and I do at the Broadway Magic Hour in Times Square in New York City. It is truly an all ages show. Some people think, oh, if kids are coming to the show, that means it's a kids show. And that is not true. When I went out to Las Vegas a few years ago and saw David Copperfield's show, there were 8-year olds, 10-year olds, 15-year olds, 20-year olds,
Right.
40-year olds, 90-year olds. Everybody was there. And that to me is the beauty of magic, is that it really can cut across all generational lines, all demographics. Any barriers between people totally melt when magic is present. So we do have, we'll look out there in the audience, we'll see three generations, grandparents, parents, and children all together, all enjoying the show. And we put together this really tight 1 hour show. We've been doing it for 2 years now, and we're sold out every single weekend. It's the most phenomenal thing. It's there are probably 13 magic shows in New York City right now, but ours is the only one, Neil, that is completely and totally calibrated specifically for families. The other ones are kind of late night shows for the cabaret crowd, or then there's a one or two kids shows that are just really really sort of like clown shows for kids. But we've kind of taken this approach that's uh, to me the biggest market in magic, but very unique in New York City.
So it feels great in so many ways. It sounds like that you did this and accomplished this.
It does. I mean, for our closing number in the show, which just brings the house down, we invite a kid up from the audience and we levitate that kid, 5.5 feet up in the air, past the hoop. The kid floats back down and is just as amazed as everyone else in the audience. And that moment is real magic. I don't know how else to explain it. One of my mentors, Eugene Berger, once told me, he said, Jim, just because there's a trick to it doesn't mean it's not magic. And I agree. I mean, real magic can happen, and it happens in our show. It blows my mind. So I would tell all of your listeners, if you're in New York City, definitely stop by. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And to be having it on Broadway. So how did you get that gig?
Yeah. So it was funny because the I was talking to the owner of the Broadway Comedy Club, and and he said, I've always thought that a family magic show would work really well here. And he said, I've talked to some other guys, and they just kind of didn't get it or didn't think it would work. And I said, was shortly after I'd come back from Vegas and had seen Copperfield and had that epiphany with who was in his audience. And I thought, you know what, I do think that'll work. And so my buddy Carl and I happened to have a family magic show that we had done, in some places like Mohonk Mountain House, which is a very exclusive resort in upstate New York, or at there was a theater out in Long Island that we had done it at a few times, and it always performed well. It always brought a lot of people, and so we said, yeah, we'll come do it. And he goes, well, how many tickets do you think you can sell? And I'm like, I don't know, 10, 15, 30. I have no idea. I didn't want him to think that we'd sell out the whole 200-seat place, so I was kind of, yeah, I didn't really know. But within 72 hours of them putting the show up on for sale on their website, the whole place had sold out. And we booked another one, and now we've extended. We've been doing it 2 years, and we have an open-ended run now. They love us, we love them. It's like the perfect location. It's the perfect time. A lot of things fell into place like they do sometimes.
What's new? The latest news with you, Jim? What do you have going on?
Oh, wow. The latest news it would probably be, we're working on right now. We think far ahead. So we're already looking at October and sort of like what kind of special Halloween show we're going to have, because Harry Houdini's 100th anniversary of Houdini's death is this
Oh,
Halloween.
wow.
And so there's going to be a lot of news about it, and a lot of ways to sort of tie into that and sort of share the love of Houdini, which he's still the biggest name in magic to this day. And so we really want to honor him and celebrate him, for our show in October. So we're already sort of starting to put some special things into place for that. The show is just about the same every week, but we do try to, on special occasions, add some special and unique things. And that's the latest and greatest thing we're working on right now.
Well, I think that's fabulous and it's exciting. And here we go. Let's buckle in. So, last question, my co-host asks is a celebrity question, and it makes you really think. And we really appreciate you, Jim, coming on the show. His name's Greg Hanna, Toss C3. So, Jim, what's the most important thing in life you've ever learned?
Greg, the most important thing I have ever learned is to believe in magic. And I have to tell you, several years ago, I was studying with a mentor of mine named Eugene Berger. And I was probably, it was actually quite a long time, 20 years ago, I was studying with him. And he asked me point blank, Jim, do you believe in magic? And I was like, no, Eugene, don't be silly. It's card tricks, it's coin tricks, it's this and it's that. And he goes, oh, he said, Jim, we're magicians. If we don't believe in magic, who will? And that just changed my whole life because I realized, and that's when he explained to me, just because there's a trick to it doesn't mean there's not magic. And it really totally changed my outlook on magic and on life. And I do look for real magic all the time and I find it. And I have shared this with so many people. And I really believe that if you open yourself up and you believe that magic is real, you will find magic in your life every single day, and it's the most uplifting and amazing, spiritual and beautiful thing that can ever happen. So that's the most important thing I've discovered.
That's fantastic. It's a tremendous story. Best place we can go. And then we're in Broadway. We got to come see you for sure. But where's the best place we can go, Jim?
That's it. The Broadway Comedy Club, which is at 318 West 53rd Street, New York City. Come see us. We're there every single weekend at 2 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays. And we'd love to see all of you guys there.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Neil.
That was the special simulcast, the Neil Haley Show and Celebrity Interviews live from the Grotto with Greg Hanna. Guys, take care.